Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Without the Mac, Journey without believing, Marilyn without the Manson, Slipknot without the screaming, an energy so stark, a Marshall Mathers without the rhymes, like executing Beethoven music without the lines. You know something's missing, but you can't figure out why. Maybe it was done and fleeing and the music's about to die. It's like the Snoop without the dog, and a tour without the smoke, Biggie without the Smalls, Tyson without the Broke, Led without the Zeppelin, Strummer without the Clash, Paul without Lennon, like Johnny without the Cash, like Mick without Keith, and the band without the Boss. Just like Angus without the Young, and Wings without the Sauce, Guns without the Roses, Axl without Slash, a guitar without Jimmy, a finale without Mash. When life seems down and everything tattered, take a trip with us back to when the music mattered. When life seems down and everything tattered, take a trip with us back to when the music mattered. Music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered, music mattered.
I have listened to that song at least 50 times now, and I still fucking love it.
It's a good song, man. Like, your AI shit is tight, bro. I love it. It's good.
Welcome, everybody, to When the Music Matters. My name's Ray. That's Chris. And we're your illustrious hosts of this beautiful little show of ours. Chris, how are you, man?
Been busy, buddy.
Yeah, you're fishing next week, right?
Getting ready to go fishing to a place I haven't been doing in about 15 years.
Out in Saskatchewan?
Out in Saskatchewan, getting up north, off the grid. No cell service, nothing.
So if you're not here in 2 weeks, I just figure you got eaten by a bear and it's over. It's done, right?
Something like that, yeah. Or I just decided to not come back and said, fuck it, I'm done.
Well, maybe find some cell coverage. Just let me know you're alive. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a proof of life picture with a fucking walleye.
Yeah, with a walleye this big.
A walleye in a newspaper. I'm good. June 28th. Good to go.
I gotta be real with you about something though, dude. So you and I were both a little late coming into this today.
Yeah.
And you texted me, you're just like, I'm just gonna hack the dart and then I'll be here. Like, I thought a good Alberta boy like you would be just hacking darts in the house.
No, we don't do that out here. It's one of those myths. We talked about myths last week. You don't smoke in your house. So I know people who do, and they're like, you gotta move past, this.
Yeah, my
the
parents,
90s are over, man. Like,
yeah.
You don't do that. I've never smoked in the houses that I've owned. Rentals when I was a kid, I did, sure. And then here's what happened. I quit smoking. And then you realize how much smoke stinks in a house. And the walls are fucking yellow. I'm like, oh man. So when I got back on the darts, I was like, no, I ain't smoking in the house.
My parents smoked in the house growing up, and they made the decision one day, like, oh, we're all smoking outside. And then I'd go to somebody's house who smokes inside and be like, yeah, it does stink.
Well, there's all the bylaws now. Like back in the day, you could smoke in all the bars, and then when they shit can that, I was happy with it, but it was very confusing because Alberta finds ways to confuse things. So I was down in Calgary, and I lit a cigarette in the bar, and they're like, "Oh no! I went out on the patio." And
yeah, you used to be able to smoke on the patios. Now you can't.
The young lady comes up. She goes, "Excuse me, sir, you can't smoke here. You have to go inside the bar." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You got to go in the bar." So you can smoke. Yeah, Edmonton got it. No, just wherever.
Oh, see, here in Toronto for a while, we got these smoking rooms.
Oh, like the airports?
Yeah, and you'd go in and you
feel shame with all these shitty people.
Even as a smoker, you'd be like, "This is gross. Get me the fuck out of here."
It is. They're the worst, man. Have you ever been to any European airport that has these smoking cubicle things with power fans, and like everybody in there is like just looks like shitty people? Fucking, it makes you want to quit.
This is when the music mattered. Back when we smoked cigarettes at concerts.
It's true. I still do. I still smoke at a concert. You're damn right I do. I don't give a fuck.
Before we bring in our guests, I just wanted to bring up that I listened to the Beastie Boys License to Ill album yesterday.
As you should.
Because this dude on TikTok is doing like these reaction things, and I forgot how good that I had the cassette tape back in the day,
You
and
could
I
thank
just
you
forgot how good they were. They're just such a good band.
you could thank Mr. Rick Rubin for that, and we're hinting now about some upcoming shit. Because I'm a massive Rick Rubin fan, and we're gonna get into all that stuff, but not today.
Rick Rubin, but I
You're
mean,
damn right we are.
can't get into Rick Rubin today. But yeah, I know Beastie Boys License to Ill. I forgot. Like, No Sleep to Brooklyn, Fight for Your Right, Girls, Brass Monkey. Like it just goes on. It's just such a good album.
Rhyming and stealing, man. That was the first time I dropped into a big half pipe. Listen to that, because that heavy fucking beat that Rick come up with. Anyway.
Anyways, dude, our guest today is very similar to the Beastie Boys. No.
Oh, yeah. No.
So our guest today is Alexander Anderson, which is what I'm looking for in a country singer. As you know, Chris, I look for two names, like two first names, right? Alexander Anderson. So
Yeah.
that's to me the perfect formula of a country folk singer. I was really hoping he talked like he wrote, and he did, and I'm excited. He's from the East Coast. I've spent as much time on the East Coast as I have on the West Coast. I've been to Halifax, and that's it. I tell you all about Peggy's Cove and the overpriced lobster I had at the
I'll bet.
bottom of the hill in Halifax.
Down from the lower deck,
And
getting
please,
ripped off.
and please don't ask me to name any other things. And I can say Armocto and New Brunswick. Look at me. I can say all the East Coast names. Just the West Coast. Like
Yeah, you can't say Okanagan.
Okawag and Monoghan. All right. Anyways, let me play you some of this track, dude. So I heard that I'm flipping through TikTok. That's how I find all these artists, especially Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Through TikTok, and I think this motherfucker is just like lip singing over Johnny Cash. You know what I mean? And
That's what I thought. I'm
and
like,
then I
what is this? This fucking Milli Vanilli, the country version.
I realized it's his voice. So let's take a little listen here. This is a little clip from his song "Darkness Don't Come."
Now I'm praying to the Lord above, praying the darkness don't come.
Fucking good, Alexander. How are you, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm not too bad, man. How you doing?
Did you finish your burger there, buddy?
I did. Yeah, I shoveled that right into my face.
All right, good.
We want to give Alexander a big shout out because he was at his, in his words, my daughter's graduation thing tonight, and he came in, shoved a burger in his face, and is joining us. But we really appreciate you having here. Alex, obviously you've been Alexander.
Alexander, but my friends call me Sandy. They called me Sandy for. It's one of those names that it's supposed to be short for.
We'll stick with Alexander. We'll go with
Alexander's fine.
I'll call you Sandy.
Of course, you Alberta meet East Coast meet Alberta. You're from Halifax, right? Did I get right? Nova Scotia?
No, Pictou County.
Pictou County.
Yeah.
That's it, Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Nova Scotia meet Alberta. Alberta meet Nova Scotia.
Oh, I've been to Nova Scotia many a time, buddy.
I'm sure you have. And I lived in the center of the universe here in the 416.
So he doesn't get out much.
So
He doesn't get out much, Sandy. He
it's
doesn't
all
love travel and shit.
I don't either. I don't unless I have something planned like to play or do something. I don't want to leave. I don't even want to leave my house.
I was gonna say the East Coast
Yeah,
is
I'll
travel
track
either. Let's not. I got family again over in Mockto. I said that properly at a New Brunswick. I got a family at Newfoundland. They don't leave either. You go see them. That's the way.
Yeah, I'm going to Oromocto at the end of August, man.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Halifax in November, which I was like, why?
Oh, that's
November?
a shit time to be.
That's what I said. Like, why November?
Man.
All right. Anyways, we're way behind schedule, and I want to get at least one of these questions from this one in. Alexander, I have a question for you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Alex all night. I'm going to try to keep the Ander as I go there.
That's fine. That's all right.
Alexander, I want to ask you a little bit because the East Coast of Canada, it's maybe not be known worldwide, but it is around Canada at least, has its own kind of unique sound. However, it doesn't really get picked up on the mainstream things. I think you got fans like was it Great Big Sea that kind of come out of the East Coast and they've sort of put on the map. But a lot of it is like you either know it or you don't. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of those bands out there that's like, I'm a fan, I'm not a fan, the other no, or you don't. Do you feel a responsibility when you're writing your music and carrying on that storytelling tradition, because it's very deeply rooted in the East Coast culture and in East Coast music? Do you feel responsibility when you're writing your songs to keep that storytelling alive?
Uh, in some respects, I do. You know, I tend to deal more with like the emotional side of things, and if I have to put a story together to get that emotion across, then and that's what I'm gonna do. But for sure, you know, if you play any kind of folk or country, I think there's a storytelling element that you, no matter what, you got to kind of honor it. I mean, that's what it's for, and not only that, I think um, it's important to tell stories through songs in order to maybe kind of help somebody, or whoever's listening. Maybe there's always that other kind of purpose to the storytelling that I think you got to honor that as well.
One thing that I really liked about your TikToks, especially when you put out songs, is how specific you are what the song is for. It just kind of makes me smile. Like, you had one, and I think it said, "This is a song for a funeral," and if you're sad. The other one was, "This is if you're hungover and depressed." And I was like they're just very specific topics that this song is for. And
Yeah.
I just
It's like fucking folk and country music for dummies. Okay, here's you're feeling this shit. I got you, bro. Here you go.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about like TikTok makes you think about that stuff too, right? Because it's kind of like a promotional thing, like in a way, and like just seeing other people do like these things with their songs, like, oh, I was down on my luck one day, and I wrote this song, or like whatever. It the captions really draw people in.
Yeah.
I haven't really had a viral moment or anything like that. I don't know if that's ever going to happen or not, but that's kind of the whole thing behind putting those captions in.
I want to say too that you look way too young to be having a daughter that's graduating. Just so you know.
I she
East Coast life, bro.
she's going into high school. So they did like a graduation for the grade 9s or the grade 8s.
I did that last night with my grade 8. As
You
well.
graduated from grade
Totally
8 last
different.
night. Congratulations, Ray. I'm
Thanks,
happy for
buddy.
you, bro.
Thank you.
I knew you'd get there. You're just going to apply yourself, man.
Like, grade 8 was the best 12 years of my life. Chris, if you have anything like a question, jump in. So I'm just
I
going to keep
do.
asking.
I
Okay, go
do.
on.
Do you well, obviously we're going to touch on how similar you sound to Johnny Cash, and I have a little, you can't see it, it's behind my head. So I borrowed this from a buddy of mine named Jake.
You have to speak into the mic for
What would Johnny Cash do? I'm multitasking here.
Oh, nice.
But that's not my question. My question is, what drives your writing style? Is it because you're a storyteller? So if you're full country, you're trying to tell stories, and are they about just you or experiences in your life around you?
Yeah, majority of them are just from me, from my life,
Okay, yeah.
Um, and then some of them could be about friends, or maybe just a story that I heard. And then other ones, very few of them are ones that I just kind of fabricated in my mind. So,
But they still relate to your experiences. You can't just make shit up that
right.
you haven't paralleled an experience with, I guess is what I'm saying, right? So it feels like, and I'm guessing, I'm speculating that even if it's a fabricate, it's kind of an unfair word for an artistic form. But I would say if you're paralleling, you know, it's something
Channeling,
something you can
well, like
relate to. You're
channeling that
channeling. There you
experience
go.
into
Yeah,
a
you're
story.
channeling an experience. I can relate to that. I'm going to get that. I'm going to put something together, and then you go do it and you write it. Okay, that makes sense. All right. No,
Yeah. And I totally get that, because I wrote songs that, in the grand scheme of things, mean nothing to me and aren't representation of how I feel or or things that have happened to me. But of course, you're always going to pull upon similar experiences. Chris, as you know, like I always say, write one for them, one for you, right? So like I write a lot of that sort of
Yeah.
alt rock, kind of sarcastic, Theory of a Dead Man style music. That's for them. And then I get into my deeper shit that's a little bit more operatic and stuff, and that's for me. So sometimes when I'm trying to write some of that alt rock shit, like I'm talking about experiences I don't know about, right? Like, or that I've never, but I know people that have experienced it. But there are times that like my wife will hear a song and she'll be like, "What's that about? When did that happen?"
That could also be driven by that can be driven by emotion, like how I'm writing a song about how I feel and drawing on parallels to put it together. Doesn't mean you experienced it directly, but you can relate to it based on an emotional, your emotional output or where you're living at the time.
Listen, I've never been to the East Coast, but I can relate to being hungover and depressed.
You got to
You
go,
know what I
man.
mean? Like it's the way it is. Alexander, I want to ask you, East Coast musicians, you guys are really well known for like doing a bit of everything. Like you're booking your own gigs. You have either a side job or a full-time job, and the music is your gig job. You're recording in home studios. I'm just wondering from your perspective, like what does the day-to-day hustle look like for you?
Oh man. Well, currently I'm setting up a series of shows, and we just did our first one. Um, it's called the Feed Nova Scotia Tour. And basically, what it is I'm trying to get to as many different places in Nova Scotia as I can from now till December. And then 50% of all the proceeds from all the shows or gigs that I do are going to Feed Nova Scotia. Now,
Nice.
Feed Nova Scotia is an organization that allocates money to all the different food banks and shelters in the province. So I've been busy firing off emails and maxing out my credit cards on theaters and concert halls and it's been a grind. On top of work in construction too. So
Wow, we're gonna have to plug all the socials at the end, Ray, and down below, above, or wherever the fuck you put them in this thing.
Absolutely. And if you send me the links to your shows and stuff too, we can put them out on all of our socials to get people out there. So how does okay, I know you're using TikTok. That's how I found you. Gonna be real with you. The odds that I'm gonna get to actually, no, I'll be in Halifax in November. So if you're playing around that time, I'll try to catch a show. But the odds of somebody from me from Toronto getting down there is probably slim to none. How does local promotion work for you that down there? Like, what is your big push there? Is it social media or is it more like word of mouth and you're, hitting the pubs and putting up posters?
well, man, it's I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I'm this is my first year of like trying to line things up myself. Before that, it was like I've had buddies who did bookings for places, and they would say, "Oh, you want to play a show tonight, or like do whatever," And
Yeah.
now I'm like trying to get a hold of all the contacts that I've met, and like I'm meeting new people through TikTok. Um, so I'm doing like the social media thing. Um, but on top of that, I'm trying to figure out um trying to figure out how to do like the whole poster thing too, like where to go, where are the hot spots to put posters up, because posters are still a kind of a viable thing for promoting shows. I know it
I
seems
hope they
old
are. They
school.
hope they fucking better be, because that's how I roll. I
Yep.
like the old school shit, bro.
Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you. All right. I'm really excited about this because, well, I'm not really that excited about it, but it, it, it's kind of cool. So the first show that we set up, I got it. Glasgow Square. It's just it's our theater, I guess. A lot of people book it and play it and stuff like that. And so to promote it, I printed off a bunch of posters, but I went door to door. So I was
Nice.
talking to people. Um, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get shot. Like people are gonna hate this. But you say you kind of make people laugh or whatever, and then
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it, it, it it's crazy how much I think one lady was like, nope, she opened her door like a crack. She was like, nope, nope. But the rest of
Yeah,
them
but
just,
that's the world we live in today. Everybody's fucking scared of everybody who knocks on your door, man. Like, but at least you're out there banging and doing it. I'll give you that. That's a lot of respect for that.
well, they, it was, it was great. Like most people just wanted to talk. They wanted to talk about music. They wanted to talk about what we were doing. I had like a bunch of people say like, oh, just like seeing you do this, that makes me want to go. And we put out, it was only like 70 chairs in the green room of the theater. And there was like 6 or 7 empty seats. Like it did pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fucking great, actually. If you could sell 70-seat venue and there's like 3 or 4 left, whatever, man. You met your intent.
Exactly. I'm happy with it, you know. Yeah, I don't know. The next one's in Halifax, so just trying to see what's happening there. I've been watching my Eventbrite page, and there's slowly more ticket sales are coming in. So we'll see what Halifax looks like.
Well, it's slow
Saturday.
mover, and then you got to try to hit all the big spots. I don't know if you've played like any of the decks, lower, middle, upper, Liquor Dome, all them places in Halifax. If you can get a regular rotation in there like once or twice a month, fuck, man, that's how it starts, right?
Yeah,
You get here, and then somebody else goes, "Hey, man, can you come do a gig for us like next weekend or whatever?" It's a slow build.
yeah.
But with that
I don't
fucking
know. I don't. It's kind of hard for me to go that route because I don't do covers, right? I'll go somewhere and do 3 hours of original music.
nice. Oh, and everybody wants to hear you do Burning Ring of Fire.
Yeah, and honest to God,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get that because of that, because of the way you sound. So that's
honest
yeah.
to God, that is
So you don't want to do covers? Let's take a trajectory into that, man.
okay. So my issue with doing covers is whenever I pick up a guitar, whenever I try to learn something,
Yeah.
I end up getting bored and then I end up writing a song.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any songs that I can play all the way through. Um, that would be a cover. I've learned many songs and then just kind of forgot them, you know. Um,
So with that Johnny Cash-esque, I'm making up a word here, voice, you didn't use that to springboard and do cover, like do Johnny Cash cover shit. You just didn't want to do that? Is that
the amount that I get compared, like that voice, I won't. I'm not. I don't know. I don't
okay?
think I'll
That's
do a Johnny Cash cover.
You know what?
yeah,
I find
wanted-
that kind of I
I
find
was
that
gonna
kind of
ask you to do
noble.
Long
Though.
Black Veil. Okay.
I
But I
find that
respect that.
yeah, I do too. I find that kind of noble because you could easily be pigeonholed as a Johnny Cash tribute
Well, you
singer,
could
and that would be it.
I don't like the word sellout, but if you wanted to cash in on it, you get way more venues, man. But
Yeah.
if you don't want to do that, if that's not your style and true to your form, I respect that, buddy. I really do.
When
Yeah.
you were
That's definitely something I'm not interested in. Like
when you were
I've
knocking
been
on
like
doors,
down and been like, and then I've had to like pull myself back in and be like, all right, we're not going down that road. Like,
No,
welcome to
that's
hosting.
wild because you totally could and you don't. And you choose to not do that, even though like that sound with the first song, I'm like, holy fuck, man, that definitely sounds like Johnny Cash.
yes,
And then I found out you're like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I want to do my own thing, create my own music. And I totally respect that.
Yeah, and welcome to hosting a podcast where we interview nothing but indie bands, right? It's
Seems to be going that way.
yeah. But we've kind of made this decision now. We realize we're never going to have that name off the hop that's going to like blow up, right? But I feel like I want to grow with you.
Yeah, I
But,
like that. I like it
but
too.
when you were knocking on doors, let me ask you, did you ever like get invited to play any kitchen parties? You had to. Someone had to have been like, I got a kitchen party happening this weekend, bring your guitar.
If he goes to Newfoundland, I'd be doing shed parties, buddy.
oh, I do. I want to go to Newfoundland, but no, I've never actually. I've got 7 of them that I was supposed to do last winter, and I never got my PA system paid off. I got a little one, and I got like, I don't know, it's like $200 left on it, and I just got to get that paid off. But a few people lined up that are wanting to do those, and I'm hoping to get those done probably in between shows this summer. I hope.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you, being from like again, just north of Toronto in Ontario, you hear things about the rest of Canada.
Here we let's fucking I apologize for him in advance, Sandy. Like it's not my fault he lives there.
Um, what is the most East Coast show that you're or gig that you ever played? Like, just what is like the like just unforgettable, chaotic? You looked around and be like, yeah, that was Nova Scotia.
Well, it
Like
was
some serious
probably
serious down home shit, buddy.
it was probably the first show that I started for this Feed Nova Scotia tour. It was like I told a bunch of people about it, and they were like, "Yeah, all right, everybody's gonna come. Like, there's gonna be, some randoms here from going door to door. There's, friends of friends. There's people we met on the street that said, hey, we were just like, hey, whatever, come on down. So we had this
Yeah.
big mix of people, and um, it's just a quiet little green room. It's for like intimate shows. Well, they had the bar open, and
Fucking now we're talking, man.
it was there was there was a group in the back that they couldn't stop moving, but like the drinks were going down, and there was joking and yelling and screaming and hooting and hollering and dancing and and then there was people giving dirty stares, and there's but it was all fun to me. Like I want to see the energy when I get there, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm sorry if some people in around the noise or something, maybe they couldn't hear what was going on, but uh I don't know, it was pretty East Coast kitchen vibes, like
So how many other bands were there?
just me and it's just me and another guy that I'm taking
Okay.
with me around.
Nice.
Yep.
So it
What's his
wasn't
name?
like a big
Can we give him a
jamboree or a
plug?
jam or anything. Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
I was just saying, can we give him a plug? Maybe say his name to the world.
Oh, the guy?
Yeah,
Hey, buddy.
Oh, Bryn Curry.
perfect.
Yeah, I think you can find him on should be able to find him on Facebook, maybe. I don't know if he's on YouTube. He is on TikTok now, so you can find him on TikTok, Bryn Curry.
Perfect.
And
I'm
he's
still not
awesome, man.
figured
He's a
out
little
fucking TikTok
sweet
yet.
little finger picker guy, and he plays a lot of Doc Watson and like Towns Van Zandt kind of stuff.
I have
So-
no idea what that means, but great.
You will.
Sounds good. So do you do a lot of any collab shit with other bands and stuff and other artists around the area?
No, not really.
Everybody's going solo.
Yeah,
Or doing their own thing. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's hard when you're working construction and then you got a family, right?
No,
Like I got
I get that. You got a day job, right?
right, and then I'm trying to do this on the weekends, and it's I got lots of help around me. Like I know all kinds of musicians around me. Like I can say if I need help with something, they're quick
Yeah, they're good
to
to
do
go.
that. It's
You
just
get a
hard to
guy.
really
Sure.
collab with anybody or go practice or have a band.
Were you in a
No,
band
no.
when you were younger?
We we tried, me and my buddy and me and two of my buddies. We used to listen to like really heavy metal, like death metal and stuff like that. So we were doing like just crazy heavy riffs and like screaming and stuff like that. And we just I don't know, man, we were always experimenting. We went from that to like ragtime folky kind of stuff or
We're getting
like
all over the map.
yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that show where you start with some like just heavy death metal and then go to some like little folksy song right after and just
I've
watch
been
people freak the fuck out,
I've been thinking about something like that. If I could work something out there, I think I'll do it. I haven't figured that out yet.
So that actually, this wasn't a pre-planned question, but you kind of drew me to this. What is the music scene out like in the East, I'm sure, like I say the East Coast, like Nova Scotia talks for all of it, but let's say Nova Scotia, I'm thinking where you are, like what is the music scene out there? Is it primarily country or is it a mix? Is hip hop a thing there? Like I know you guys know about hip hop, you live under a rock, but like is it a popular genre there? Like what's the music scene?
It's a mix, man. I guess it depends on where you're at, but around here you got a lot of like alternative kind of rock, folk and country. But then you got some other garage bands like punk bands and stuff, and there's quite a few of them too. Um, and I think when you head over towards like Cape Breton and stuff, that's you're getting into like a lot more country territory there. And then Halifax is a mix of, oh geez, I don't know, like I guess you find it's a city, so you'll find everything there. But it we've got quite a selection of genres that people are you can find anything you want.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way. You can
That's
find
funny.
anything you want.
You said
I mean,
Cape
it's not
Breton.
like
Cape Breton's still hanging on the country. They're still hanging on to Matt Minglewood, man.
Oh yeah, Matt Minglewood. He
Huge. I met
Yep.
him in Dubai.
really.
He was coming to play for the troops in Afghanistan, and I was coming out, and he was coming in, and we had this secret base in the United Arab Emirates that you could find on Google Earth, and fucking I hung out with him all day, man. He was a fucking awesome dude. And then my dad's a big fan, so we went and saw him. He's playing at like casinos and small venues and shit now, right? Around town. He's just fucking great music. Like that's good
Yeah,
country folk East Coast music, and he really represents that well.
he does. And I'm kind of somebody had sent me his number through TikTok.
Oh yeah,
As far as I know, it's his number. I don't know.
I shoot him a text and see if he
Right.
replies.
So I did do that. I did that the other day after speaking of hip hop, we were at a classified show. And the next morning after that, I had kind of had the courage built up to text him. So I texted him and then I never heard anything back yet. So I don't know if it was his number, if it was like
He's an old dude, man. It's going to take him some time to reply.
He's got a
maybe.
He's
got a
fucking got a flip phone using T9 text input, so it takes him like a day.
I've got the last landline. Do you have a landline telephone?
No,
Fuck.
no, my grandmother does though.
Do you have one, Ray?
Well, I have. Well, you seem to think I have. So I have an internet phone that sounds like a landline,
Why?
but because my wife's work phone. My wife works. Our first like 3 episodes, my wife's work phone would go off as we were doing this show, and it's like a handheld. It looks like a landline phone, and Chris has told the world I have a landline. Do you know
He's
how
got a
many?
landline. It's a fucking. You can call it whatever you want, man.
Do you know
It's a
how many?
landline?
Do you know how many DMs I get? People like, I have a landline too, and I'm like, I don't have a fucking.
You should start a
landline.
landline TikTok page. Like everybody's just sitting there
Just
doing
all of
this.
it showing our landlines.
Yeah, on your landlines, having a party line. Like you need to know numbers. I haven't had a fucking landline since like 2000 and
Listen, when I'm less advanced,
97.
in Nova Scotia, I've got.
Do you know the only reason I got rid of my landline? Because I was living in this apartment and they wouldn't let you open the door without a landline. Right? So you remember you buzz people in,
Yes.
right? Well, you get a buzz buddy in. So finally they upgraded it so you could do it off your shitty flip phone. This is like 99, 98. And then that was it. No more. I haven't had a landline since then. But
All right, off the land.
we can move on.
Alexander, I know you don't do covers. You can do a 3-hour set of original music, which I think is fucking awesome.
I do too.
What I want to ask you is, though, do you have any musical influences that kind of help you, like that kind of you can hear it seeping into your music? And I mean, obviously, like you're going to hip hop shows, you're in a metal band. Like, do you have any of those maybe unexpected influences that kind of end up like some sort of chord transition or something that, if I listen carefully, it's probably actually like Slayer or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. That's something that I don't think too much of. I'm sure there is something, but it's not something that I pick up. I just, I write so different from like song to song. Like it could be, I don't know. I don't know.
So
Just
there's like,
singer-songwriters, I guess. If you listen to a lot of singer-songwriters like John Prine or like Towns
hey, there you go.
or
Yeah.
like, guys that really kind of move around a little bit. Um, that's the only thing I can really think of. If that even answers your question, which I don't think it does, but
It
Well, no,
feels
it
to me
does.
like,
If the answer is nothing, then it's nothing.
no,
Here's
I
the
get what
thing.
he's saying because my buddy Jake Buckley's a folk country rock guy out in Edmonton, and I've done a couple sessions with him, and he's a big John Prine fan. He's the same way. Like he listens to this over here, but it maybe that's just what he likes to listen to. That doesn't necessarily influence his writing process. So if that's similar to you, like, yeah,
right.
I like these guys. I like Slayer. I like whoever,
Yep.
I like AC/DC or fucking whatever you like. But that's not necessarily a direct impact or influence on your writing style. Your writing
Right,
style
yeah.
is based on your environment and how you feel, is what I'm guessing from what you've
I
said.
I 100% get what you guys are saying. Like a lot of my music influence comes from Jeff Martin. He's the lead singer of the Tea Party. Like a lot of
Yeah.
my writing comes from him. Uh, Eminem, who's one of my favorite artists ever, doesn't really influence my writing. You know what I mean? I love listening
No,
to it,
well, yeah, there you
but
go.
but but
It's a
you
good
won't
analogy.
you won't hear Marshall and Tupac popping up in one of my deep emotional "I hate the world and my soul's on fire" type of songs. It's
Yeah.
um. So I want to talk a little bit about social media because obviously I did discover you on TikTok, and Chris is very new to TikTok. He still just gets
Very,
notifications,
very, very new and
and I'm not new to TikTok from an observer standpoint. I was one of those like COVID dads that discovered TikTok and was just
Right.
watching people dance. But I'm newish because I come like disclosure, I come from the sports world. I had a very popular sports podcast, and then I'm still doing it in some sense, but music has always been my passion, and Chris and I became friends through other projects, and so we started this side project. This is sort of a side project of what we're doing that's growing into the main project. And
yeah, it
one
kinda
day,
came up quick. We talked about we're gonna do something in the fall. This is at
yeah,
his wedding a
we
couple
were at
months
my
ago,
wedding in
and then, like,
Dominican.
a month later, "Hey, you wanna do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, fuck yeah, I do."
All right, let's do it Monday. Um,
It was exactly what happened.
so
Nice.
we're navigating the TikTok scene and the social media scene and Instagram scene and as well. And Instagram's always so for me, like YouTube and X and Twitter have always been like my place that's where you thrive in sports. So for me, like TikTok was for me watching stupid videos, and Instagram was to post pictures of my kids. And now it's turning into how I'm promoting the show and how I'm connecting with artists like you. And I've realized like the music scene is huge on TikTok. So I guess this is a long way of me asking, like, how are you using that social media to kind of bring that home? And how do you find like you're bringing that East Coast country feel to TikTok? Or do you feel like, or do you just get like, holy shit, dude, you sound like Johnny Cash? No, but like, are you struggling to get it across? And are people more, I guess I'm gonna ask, like, are people like me where they think you're just fucking lip syncing to Johnny Cash until they, like, take a minute and realize, like, this is an original song?
Um, I'm not sure. I feel like I get buried a lot, like through, I don't know, whatever content's out there, but um I've seen comments for sure that like they said, "Oh, I thought this was Johnny Cash at first, and then I seen that it was your song." I've seen that comment quite a few times or whatever.
Was that in a good way or a bad way?
It,
'Cause
Yeah, are
fucking
you
social
offended?
media is covered with shit,
I,
right?
I, it took me a while to get used to that. It was
Yeah.
like at first I was like I just it was driving me crazy, like to a point where I was ready to like jump off a bridge, like more than usual. But
Right.
um, I mean, at some point, that's a compliment. You got to take it.
Yeah,
Like,
man, you do. For sure
and
you
I,
do.
I I was never good at taking compliments. Like that's one thing TikTok has taught me is like how to. I don't know. Like I don't want to say TikTok showed me like this kind of sense of like I don't know respect for myself or something. You know what I mean? But like It kind of did in a way. I like myself a little bit more doing something that I'm passionate about, I guess. So
Good for you, man.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I
If you can
actually,
pull a positive out of social media, you're fucking winning. Like, that's what I think, because I hate social media, even
well,
when I have to. It's
you
a
say
tool.
that. Hold on, you say that.
I do.
I have to. I'm sorry. I know you're the guest, Alexander, but I have to yell at Chris for a second.
It's fine.
First of all, social media has brought a kid from Toronto, a kid from Nova Scotia, and an old grumpy man from Alberta together to do a show. That's what
All
social
right.
media just done.
Okay. That's fair.
You are one of my best friends in the world. You were at my wedding in February where I invited one other friend. It was all family and two friends, and you were one of them. And we met because of a project we were working on for a company for social media. So you say you hate social media.
No, I do, but so that example, and it's not incorrect. Nothing what you said's wrong. Is like the 2% of the rest of it, which is just the cesspool of people shitting on each other, posting pictures of their fucking cats and food, which I do. I don't have cats, but my dogs and my food's on there.
You're a lot of food, a lot of food, a lot of dogs.
A lot of food, a lot of dogs, but now we use it as a tool. I don't get me wrong, but it doesn't mean I don't hate it. But it has yielded some positives. I'm not going to argue that. So, and I hope for you, Sandy, that's the same.
Yeah. Do you find that social media, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but this might actually help go to where you were going to say. Do you feel that it helps you break down that regional barrier, or do you find it could be a hindrance? Because I was thinking about it the other day. It was for you and another guest coming up, who's another country singer, Andy Colonico. And I was thinking about both you guys, and I was listening to "Darkness Don't Come" from you and "Hell Yeah" from him, and I thought these are two songs that in 1995 or even like 2005 they would have been making the Canadian radio circuit. I know they would have, right? Like their radio was always looking for Canadian content, and it would have made the circuits, and it would have got across. With social media and with Spotify and the decline and the death of terrestrial radio and that type of thing, do you find that you trying to produce your music now, do you find that social media has broken the barrier because you have connected with Chris and I from across the country? Or do you find a little bit of old school could have maybe helped you right now?
I think I think I'd like to have a little bit of old school, and I'd like to have both worlds, to be honest with you, because the connections that I've made through here, like I'm friends with Buck Owens's grandson. You know what I mean? Like there's people on here that I've met that I never would have. And on the other hand, old school radio, like it could be another thing too, because there's people that are still not on social media. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah,
there's
that's
still
why.
people that
Listen,
listen
hey
to the
man,
radio, and
that's
it's
why
crazy
you're
because I don't listen to the radio. But
you're going fucking door to door handing out posters. That is the coolest shit you've said all night to me. Like that's awesome because most people are not doing that. They're plugging their shit on whatever platform and hoping it all works out. But to go door to door, to walk up to a signpost near where the venue is going to be, and there's 200 other old ones from concerts and bands gone past, and you're taping over top of that.
yeah,
You know what I'm talking about. That's cool shit, buddy. I appreciate you for that, man.
thank you.
Yeah, and I don't say this arrogantly. We're a growing podcast. Our growth is going the trajectory I want it to from a speed standpoint. It's slowly but surely. But I do hope that this podcast does help elevate you or pop you up a little bit. Maybe
Absolutely,
more
yeah.
people see you. Um, some for us because it's good for us to say we knew him before he was, the Alexander Anderson. Maybe he'll be in 2 or 3 years, but also because I love that old. Because you're talking about hanging posters and going door to door, and it's just I was a part of that pop punk circuit as a kid, and
Grinding.
I was playing the Burlington Y, and I was playing Moe's Tavern for 6 fucking drunks, and and we're doing this circuit, and there's 6 bands that are on this circuit, and we're doing this circuit, we're grinding our asses off, we're going to school, they're trying to sell $5 tickets, you know what I mean? Like, it's we're going through and hearing the old school grind, because all these bands, and it's no offense, I'm talking to a pop punk band from the UK next week, and it's no offense to these guys, but, like, they're all just, like, they're resting their laurels on social media.
Yeah.
And I always go back. This is one of the greatest lessons I learned. And Chris, I don't think you were on when I was telling Hobson the story. For everybody else who heard it, I apologize. 2 years ago, I was doing a project with Jason McCoy. For those of you who don't know, Jason McCoy is a Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame musician. Plays with a band called the Roadhammers. He's also solo, and he was on tour with Doc Walker and Michelle McCoy. And I was doing this little documentary piece behind the scenes about women in trades, and McCoy is a big part of it. So I was at a diner eating breakfast with Jason, and we were shooting the shit about social media and TikTok. And I was like, do you wish you had TikTok in the day that you could have elevated? And he started talking about his time with the Roadhammers. And he said, when I was with the Roadhammers, he said MySpace was huge. He goes, and we spent, and that was the music scene, was MySpace.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
We spent hours every week building the MySpace page, pictures from our shows, uploading music, like getting the clips, interacting with people. They were getting hundreds of thousands of people on MySpace, and putting all this time into MySpace. And then one day, MySpace didn't exist. And he says it's a lesson of, you can't just rest on social media. There's an old school way of doing things. And I can't remember else who said this. I think it was Billy Joe Armstrong, but I could be wrong. But he was talking about playing live music. And he said there's no greater experience than playing live music. You won't gain that experience being in the studio. Even playing live on TikTok isn't good enough. And he was talking about a band who he'd seen, and they were like the first band on day one of a 5-day festival. So the one who's playing for like 6 people who showed up too early, right? And then the next year they were playing day 2, and the next day they were playing day 3. And then he says, all of a sudden, 4 years later, they headlined the festival, right? But they got all that experience from playing live. And I'm thinking about you door knocking. I'm thinking about you hanging posters and playing at a 70-seat stadium that you're putting your own bill for. And I was part of that circuit. All right, at the end of the night, you're hoping for your paycheck, right? Everybody owes $8. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't make enough to cover the venue. So I really do hope that you succeed. But I think that you're also a prime example for, I think, young musicians out there. I know you look young, but I'm not. But for the young musicians out there, you're a good example that you still got to put in the fucking work if you want your music to succeed. And I'm sorry for going on that little tirade, but I thought it just kind of tied in perfect to what you were saying. I could also drop some names in there too and show that I know people. So no matter who the guest is, I always got to try to make it about me somehow.
That's right.
That's a Toronto fucking thing. Don't worry about it, people. Raise good people. Yeah, no, I get it. I love the grind. I love that you're multifaceted. I know, like, social media is a weird space to promote your shit. I've been doing podcast stuff for a few years now, and I'm still not even near where I could be with using what's available to promote myself. So it's tough, and it's a lot of work. So that's actually my next question. You got a job in construction, and after I left the military, I worked construction. This is a lot of work, and you got a family, and you got this. Like, how do you balance all that? How do you manage that time? Because you got 3 spheres of influence in your life: your job, your family, and your passion. Like, to do all that and to try to keep that in balance has got to be a lot of work, man.
It's yeah, it really is. I mean, I can kind of manage it a little better than I think most could, because I've always just kind of went by the seat of my pants, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of what I'm doing now. Like, if I'm screwing up here and the wife says she needs more time or the kids need more time, then I gotta rein it in. And then if I'm lacking on the music front, then I'm like, well, I gotta go this way, or work. I'm starting to become the old guy kind of at work now, so I can kind of get away with things there a little
Oh,
bit.
okay. So you get a little bit of flexibility now. That's good.
A little bit of flexibility there, but not when it comes with the wife and the kids.
No,
they're
no, you're never
always
gonna have that. I'm just talking about work.
yeah,
Well, let's give a shout out to the wife and the kids because I'm
Yeah.
wife and two kids as well, and uh, I'm not putting in the grind like you are in the music scene, but I put in the grind doing this thing,
yeah,
and doing it for years.
yeah.
And yeah, there was lots of hours where she's sitting by herself on the, outside on a night like tonight where it's, 34 degrees here and it's 34 degrees here in Newmarket, Ontario right now. And she's sitting outside having a drink, waiting for me to finish talking to you guys. But that support, right? Like, so talk maybe a little bit about the support you get from your wife to allow you to do that.
Yeah.
So shout out to the wife.
shout, shout out to the wife.
Always give a shout out to the wife, man, because then when they watch this later, they'll be like, "Oh, thank you so much for giving me, thinking about me while you're thinking about your other
Yeah.
shit that takes you
So
away from
what
me."
we'll
So
do
I
is
respect that.
we're gonna give you 30 seconds right now, and we'll isolate this clip and put it on social media so you can show her. Just say some really nice shit about
Say some nice shit about your
so
wife
that
right
she
now.
can just hear you. If it wasn't for her, go on, man. We're giving you the opportunity.
Yeah,
He says nothing. He says, "Fuck it."
I, I that's a lot of thinking right now.
Thanks, man.
I
All right.
I feel like I did that all Saturday night.
Oh, did you? Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
There you go.
I
So you've got a couple of songs out right now on Spotify. I have you on YouTube Music. Is it 2 songs that you have now out to the public? Or 3 songs
Yes.
that I've seen. 2 or 3? 2 or 3. It's 2,
Two.
right? Yeah. Um, any upcoming stuff with an album or
Yeah,
anything of
what's
that
coming
nature?
up?
just
What's on
singles,
the
man. I'm
horizon?
gonna try to get a single out a month for. Well, right now I'm looking at maybe 90 months. So it's 90 singles for 90 months.
Fuck,
I guess.
Then you'll have
that
like
feels
6
ambitious,
albums.
isn't it? No?
You'll just put it together
Yeah.
have 6 albums. Look at you.
Uh
Did you record at home or do you go to a studio?
just wherever, man. I'm gonna try somebody else out here soon. That's not doing those that didn't do those recordings there. I'm gonna go back to that place, but I'm also gonna try out a few other people and see what happens. Yeah. You guys know who Brian Elijah Smith is? You ever come across his videos?
I have not. No, I know
No,
Chris says
can't
Chris
say I
Chris
have.
says not, believe me, but I have not
No.
either. No.
Mm. You should look him up. He's pretty good. He's kind of like Appalachian. He's from West Virginia.
Oh, wow.
He was working on one of my tracks. And I don't know if I'm gonna get that back. I don't know when I'm gonna get that back. But he's a
25% tariffs on it when
perfectionist.
you do.
And I might even get it back, not even done. He could just be like, no, I couldn't get it perfect. But he's supposed to be putting in some harmonica and stuff like that.
There should be some local guys out there that can help you chop stuff up, man. I mean, there's lots here in Edmonton, so I know there's tons out there.
Oh, for sure. This track was for him. I wanted him
Okay. Cool.
And he's
Cool.
been helping me out a lot with the social media and stuff too, like telling me like these different tips and tricks and that I
How to feed that
try to
algorithm.
apply, but I just it's
No,
the time. It's so hard to.
I'm on your level, man.
But I see you, man. You're into the trends, right? You're into the pictures with you discovered a new. You got it. You're. I've learned now if I see a still picture and hear music, it's probably a musician. So I stop to hear what they do now.
Yeah.
I have one more question before I turn it over to Chris to wrap it up, or before we wrap it up. And it's more of just a general thing. Again, being a kid here from Toronto, a lot of our audience is from Ontario and the greater Toronto area. What's something about the East Coast music scene that people from outside need to understand? Like, what's something that we need to understand about what's happening on the East Coast right now musically?
No matter where you're at on the East Coast, you're gonna find like some top-notch musicians and songwriters. And for the most part, they just stick around here, but they're like phenomenal. Like there's a reason why, like, I don't know how many songwriters have come from Cape Breton and gone to Nashville. You know what I mean? Like, there's just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. If it's boredom, because we don't like we got what Moncton and Halifax. They're like our biggest, and Sydney in Cape Breton, I guess, would be our biggest places.
Well, it's salt of the earth, working class people.
Yes,
Like that's to me from way the fuck out west. Like I know a lot of East Coast people mostly from the military, and I've been in New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nova Scotia. I got friends in PEI, haven't been there yet. I got friends in Cape Breton, haven't been there yet. But I've been most of those places and met those people, and they're humble, kind people that, especially if you're from Newfoundland, you live in a really fucking harsh environment. And when you listen to that music, it relates to the life, that East Coast life, whether it was good or bad, or good times, bad times. But it's a hard life. They're humble people. They're humble working class people, and that's how I, as a Westerner, way Westerner, perceive all the people and my friends on the East Coast. Like they're fucking the kindest, nicest people in this country you're ever gonna meet are East Coasterners, man. I'm telling you right now.
You nailed it 100%. We're not just kissing your ass. Like here, we have a lot of people on the East Coast come over to Ontario and stay here. My neighbor right across from me is like he's a newfie as newfie could be, and I love the guy. And I just love to sit out there and listen to them talk. Like it's just the greatest in the world. Remind me to tell you guys later off air about the time he stepped in shit in his backyard. It's the greatest story ever. But I actually like laughed out loud, and to this day he'll never let me live it down that I couldn't stop laughing. But I've always said that the East Coast, you talked about it, but it's funny, you talk about it's hard. Winters are hard there. We know economically, it's not as prosperous as here. There's more options here. And yet it's hard to come across a miserable East Coaster. You know what I mean? Like it really is. Like we're way more miserable here in Ontario, and you get it way more fucking miserable in Alberta than they are on the East Coast.
Okay, we'll save that one for next week, but sure.
Chris, anything you would like to ask Alexander before we?
No, I kind of nailed my last comments on how I feel about that music and those people, having known them and lived in that, not lived there, but immersed myself in it with everybody I know, and that kind of music, that East Coast folk type music. And I respect what you're doing. Like he had me at, I don't do covers of Johnny Cash, even though it sound exactly like him, and I could cash in. I'm not doing that. No pun intended. And I go door to door, hand out posters. Like that's fucking respect, man. That's all I got.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I with the cash thing, I got a guy. He's on day 35 of asking for a cash cover. We're seeing how long we can go back and forth. He's a cowboy from Iowa.
Sure. Well, they got him everywhere.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Ohio.
And he's trying to get you to do one.
Yes.
Tell him to start a GoFundMe, and when it hits 100 grand, you'll do it.
I was gonna say, if he donates 100 grand to feed Nova Scotia, you got to do that. That's what I do.
That would be a good idea.
Actually, that's your hook. Okay, this is important marketing shit. Say, listen, man, I got this thing going, feed Nova Scotia. If you raise X amount, like whatever number you're comfortable with, I will cover. Fucking pick whatever one you like.
Yeah.
That's everybody gets what they want. You raise money, and people get to hear you do a cover.
All right,
that is a good idea.
All right, there you go. Hey, we're finished this shit on a high, boys. We got marketing strategy going on.
There we go. It's
and you can make some money, and then we'd be happy. But you just got to learn the song.
Alexander, I want to give you the next minute or so to plug everything you have, man. Your socials, where
you're up.
Your music,
everything you got going on.
Everything going on, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Well, Yeah, just Alexander Anderson on everything. You could go to Spotify, Apple. I'm on all the platforms. My Instagram's just my name. It's kind of hard to find, I think. So is my Facebook. If you try to find me on Facebook, it's Alexander Anderson under pages. Don't look under people because you won't find me there. It's under pages, and it'll probably take you a little bit to find me on there. I know I got almost 10,000 followers on TikTok, but
Holy
that's another
shit,
thing
you're
I
doing
got is
good.
the
I
TikTok
got
there.
2.
Yeah, and yeah, that's
And
that.
what about the Feed Nova Scotia
Yeah,
thing?
talk
Is
about your
there a
show.
website? Is there a
I got no website. Just if you follow my Facebook or my Instagram
okay.
or anything like that, you'll be able to find out when I got shows coming up. So my
If
next
you-
one's in Halifax at the Music Room, June 28th. Starts at 7 p.m. and you can go to themusicroom.ca to get tickets for that. There should be a link there that goes to my Eventbrite page.
Okay.
And then the next one after that, I'll be in Inverness opening up for Dave Gunning and JP Cormier. So that one's going to be a good one. That one's going to be great.
If you send me a link to your Instagram and to your Facebook, I will put it across our socials. And
Yeah.
And my Facebook is nothing but traveling musicians that follow me. So if they're
Yep.
in the area, they'd love to hit your show. So send me those links. We'll make sure they go out. Alexander, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on, man. You're an absolute gem. We wish you the best of luck. You've done more for us today than we've done for you, but we hope that we could be a little part of your journey here on One the Music.
Oh, for sure. Like I've never. This is my first kind of interview with somebody, like, and
Well,
don't
we got to
know,
do a follow-up in the fall then.
yeah, for sure.
See how your campaign went,
All
right?
we
Yeah.
ask is that when the record labels come knocking and you make it big, you remember us. When we write out and be like, hey
Just
man,
give us a
remember
shout
when
out. Give us a shout
remember
out.
when you were just grinding on TikTok and handing out posters? Just a little shout out for the show, maybe an interview would be great.
Yep. Yeah.
Backstage passes.
You guys will get the tell all. I'll give
Appreciate
you
it.
guys the tell all when the people are done with me and it's just time to let all the dirt out. You guys can have it.
Awesome. Alexander, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
What a fucking gem.
That fucking guy is cool. He's got
No offense to Chris, no offense to Alex, but my favorite interview so far. I'll be real.
really. I just like how straight up he is. He's just trying to figure it out, man. He's got a fucking family. He's an East Coaster. He's got a job, and he won't sell out. And he's handing out posters. Like, that's badass shit.
It is. It's awesome. And we kept it to an hour, so I'm happy. Chris, man, tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, still same places. Instagram at the Army Chris, TikTok at the RB Chris 71. Still working on that, and you can find me here. And we are going to work on getting our own Instagram page.
We
right?
are hoping for
Working
next
on that.
week. Hoping for next week.
Yeah, we do have a TikTok channel thing.
We do.
I think.
We
Okay.
do. I gave up my personal TikTok to so anybody who's going to @Ray Route no longer exists. Check out
Oh man, the sacrifices you make, brother.
I do. Check out When the Music Mattered on TikTok. And right now, Chris and I, I'm at Ray Route on Instagram. Chris and I are feeding each other's Instagram feeds, but we want to start feeding the new Instagram.
The
So
beast. Yep.
good by next week. But bigger news is we finally got approved, and we're now on Apple Podcasts. So
Oh yeah.
so
Apple, Spotify, wherever
Yeah.
you can get them.
and that's been a lot of our TikTok responses has been like, when the fuck are you guys going to be on Apple Podcast? They finally approved us, so we're on Apple Podcasts. You find us YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those kind of great places. My name's Ray. That's Chris, and we're going to leave you here with "Darkness Don't Come" from our man Alexander Anderson. Find him across all the different platforms. Chris, enjoy your fishing trip, buddy. I'm going to miss you next week. I will be solo next week, but I'll be interviewing a band out of the UK called Chasing the Fall. They're a pop punk band, so I can talk about how we all play easy music.
Cool.
And I want to see pictures of some walleyes, and don't go too far off the reservation.
No, I've been up there before, man. All good.
All right, buddy. See you next week, or
You
see you in
bet.
2 weeks.
Yeah, you will.
See you, everybody.
sun's been shining this whole time, and there ain't been a cloud up in the sky, but I still can't shake this frost, this feeling that it's all about to go awry. Now I'm sitting in the eye of the storm, praying to God the darkness don't come. Now I'm praying to the Lord above, praying the darkness don't come. Have you ever had them kind of thoughts that whip around your head like a cold winter wind, making you wish that you were dead? Well, I've got those thoughts too. They've been haunting me, my friend. Now I'm sitting in the eye of the storm, praying to God the darkness don't come. Now I'm praying to the Lord above, praying the darkness don't come. Darkness don't come. Darkness don't come. Darkness don't come. I'm praying to the Lord above, praying that the darkness don't come.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.